don't want to say happy Halloween, but I hope that your long-lost relatives come visit you this weekend. If you want them to, I personally don't want mine to come visit. Thanks, but no, I'm not interested in like having my dead family come and see me. No, I had enough of them while they were alive. I am coming to you. I love this venue because this is why I want to screen share. Two things happened today that I thought were very poignant. It was like poetry in motion. This is Trader Trump's first Halloween, right? I mean, did you see the cartoons? How sad it is in America that the cartoons are like kids going knocking on the White House in FBI suits and Trump freaking out. They're like the worst, the best Halloween costume for the president. Little bit of payback, you know what I mean? Sad humor that's our president of the United States and Congress is not impeaching this guy, right? Well, today, the big news that has gone unreported, I hope you have heard about it. I'm going to put my little double glasses on as I want to do, as you guys know. I'm going to screen share with you. This is a SHOCK shocker. I think you guys are seeing this. Stop sharing. Collapse at North Korea test site leaves 200 dead. Look at the picture of all of this, how they're talking about it, right? Probable mining carts. We know nothing about this. I don't know if you've heard about it. I did not hear about it. Tim Martin is scrolling the news. He's obsessed with this right now because it's freaking shocking. I mean, honestly, it's why I'm here at 11:53 at night putting this up so people will see it on a screen share. As many as 200 North Korean laborers have been killed. As many as. That means they don't know. They're not telling us. After a mine shaft dug at the regime's nuclear site collapsed. Sources in North Korea told the news channel that a tunnel being excavated by around 100 workers in the Punggye-ri test site collapsed earlier this month. Earlier this month. They did not tell us when. You get this news? An additional 100 laborers sent to rescue their colleagues were reportedly killed when the tunnel suffered a second collapse. An additional 100 laborers, but they didn't really tell us how many laborers for real. You read what it says. An exact date for the disaster has not been provided, but comes shortly after North Korea conducted its sixth and most powerful underground nuclear test at the site. Oh my goodness, has that been 20 minutes? Lord. Well, I'm going to keep going because this is important, and maybe you guys can cut it up or just watch what you want, but North Korea claims the September 3rd site test beneath Mount Mantap was a hydrogen bomb, with monitors suggesting the detonation was equivalent to an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.1 on the Richter scale. Some analysts put the yield of the weapon as high as 280 kilotons, while seismologists picked up signs of underground collapses in the hours and days after the blast. Satellite images of the Punggye-ri site taken immediately after the test revealed significant damage to surface features, including landslips. On October 17th, a study published by the U.S. Korea Institute at Johns Hopkins University and published on the 38 North website suggested the sixth underground test at the site had caused, quote, substantial damage to the existing tunnel work at Mount Mantap, unquote. It added that there was a possibility that the site had suffered, quote, tired mountain syndrome, unquote, although there are no indications that it was being abandoned for future nuclear sites. Tired mountain syndrome, is that sort of like tired voter syndrome, where voters just don't believe that it's going to work? Or you get sick of having too many elections, tired voter syndrome, or something like that. Nam Jae-jol, the head of the South Korea's Meteorological Administration, warned in testimony before Parliament on Monday that further tests in Pyeonggi-ri could cause the mountain to collapse and release radioactivity into the environment. Okay, as if it hasn't already. Based on our analysis of satellite imagery, we judge that there is a hollow space which measures about 60 meters by 100 meters beneath Mount Maytap, he said. Should another nuclear test take place, there is a possibility of a collapse. Chinese scientists have issued further warnings suggest that nuclear fallout could spread across an entire hemisphere if the mountain did collapse. Now look at this. Let's see what that says. Oh, I bet you it's a dead link. Yeah, sorry, they take that down. You don't read it. Now look, this is where I wanted to also show you. I wanted to show you this. Oh, goodness gracious. Same story. This is the original story from the Telegraph, right? And this was printed, let's see if it tells us, October 31st, 2017. This was Business Insider. Look at the difference of the graphics that they show you. Look at the difference in the story. That's it. That's the whole story, folks. That's the story. Nothing about any of the details. That it is about to collapse, that it probably has already spewed tons of radiation in on us. This is a catastrophe, whether they want to pretend like it's not. You think that place is not spewing out radioactivity from every little portal that it can? For goodness sakes. Who do they think they're kidding? Look what this thing says. Some analysts puts a yield on the weapon as high as 280 kilotons. We know the levels of radioactivity 80 kilotons done. Dude, check it out. September 3rd, 2017, 250 kilotons. I mean, you think that's not enough to harm a lot of people? A hollow space 60 meters by 100 meters beneath the mount. Pow! Story. I thought, how poetic is it that this woman is fulfilling her dreams, dressed in green, Lady of Liberty comes out completely elegantly looking and collapses right on television, right before our very eyes, and picks herself up. By the way, collapsed beautifully. Picks herself up and says, hey, I'm a trooper. I'm going to keep going. I hope she doesn't die of a stroke. Those fucking people, excuse my language, but I cannot believe the way they put people as human mills for money. It's outrageous. Don't worry, she'll be here. She prides herself on being here every day. That woman needs to take a day off. I don't care what anybody says. No offense. Who cares? She can come back in a month. Rest. She collapsed on television. Was not overheat. Okay, so we're going to show you what happened to you, Miss Wendy Williams. So I don't actually adhere. I stopped watching Wendy Williams when she started backing Trump because she's on television, makes buku money. We're going to cut taxes. We're going to do all this stuff. No. We have got to start valuing each other and loving each other for who we are. just as we are. And I thought it was very poetic, you wearing the Lady Liberty suit and collapsed. It was almost like Wendy Williams did what America's about to do, just like, boom, we're freaking in free fall right now. And it is astounding to hear people say, well, those liberals and those nuts, anybody who doesn't like Trump or isn't willing to face his crime. See, I feel the opposite. If you can stand behind Trump, I get it. You might have believed him when he came in. It's like we believed Obama. For real. This has been the come to Jesus moment. And here's this woman, Wendy Williams, collapsing right before our very eyes. It's not very long. I'm going to play it.
Constant contact with you every year, so it was a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
Look, she's grabbing her head. She knows she's like, boom, blanking out. Now watch this.
That was not a stunt. I'm overheated in my costume and I did pass out.
Right. I'm on the screen so we can get there correctly. Okay, so watch this. I hope that many of you have already seen this, but if you haven't, this is super important. Look at this. This is 9 minutes. I don't know if I should play the whole thing, but go here to King5, October 27th, dumping at Hanford. 2.7 thousand people. That's all that subscribe to them. Let's get this number up, folks. We should have millions of people watching them. They're the only people watching Hanford like this. So let's give them the big thumbs up. But watch this.
This is exactly how Hanford became so contaminated in the first place.
What could be the motivation? Why would you risk creating even more contamination that could make its way through the Columbia River? We've discovered this document that might provide an answer, and it has to do with money.
We found the crews who work for the government contractor Washington River Protection Solutions, or WRPS, were in a big hurry to get the water out of those boxes. We needed to put these nuclear waste hoses in them and send the boxes onto this landfill in the middle of the Hanford site. And there was a carrot attached to getting that job done. This document spells out the numbers. $58,000 paid to WRPS for each hose safely dug up and put in a box, with a total on the line of more than $1 million. But with a September 30th deadline, the clock for earning that bonus was ticking.
This is surprising every single time I see it, that we don't seem to learn very well.
Dirk Dunning of Salem, Oregon is a retired nuclear engineer and Hanford expert.
When you get caught in a bind with time and money, quite often people end up cutting corners.
Sources tell us that's exactly what happened. When WRPS discovered rainwater had accidentally leaked into the boxes, cutting corners was quicker and cheaper than doing the right thing, testing the water to see what was in it. Pumping the water into barrels like these.
Let me just interject. Not cutting corners, breaking the law. This is not optional. They have no choice. This is why the Price-Anderson Act needs to go. Because nobody can be held liable for doing this. Not a corporation, not an individual, because of the Price-Anderson Act.
Or getting new boxes altogether.
Hey, Mr. Carroll, I'm Suzanna Frame from King TV. We're here to talk about the water events, the dumping events that occurred in August.
We asked WRPS for an interview. They never responded to the request, so we caught up with one of the company's top executives, Rob Cantwell, after work. He denied any wrongdoing.
Many of your employees are concerned about it because they didn't think it should happen. They know it wasn't right, and they knew it wasn't being recorded. What do you have to say to that?
I don't have any to say to that. We didn't do anything that was inappropriate.
We found what happened after the dumping was not only inappropriate, but violated the law. When waste is spilled or dumped, it must be reported to the State Department of Ecology within 24 hours. That didn't happen.
It wasn't reported until King TV made an inquiry to your company. Can you tell us why?
I'm not sure I understand exactly what you're referring to.
This is what we're referring to. The first dumping happened in mid-August. On September 8th, King5 emailed WRPS and the State Department of Ecology to ask what happened. The next business day, internal state emails we've obtained show Department of Ecology managers trying to get to the bottom of it, what they called a mysterious compliance issue that came from Suzanna Frame. The next day, WRPS finally notified the state.
Timely reporting is one of the requirements.
John Price is the state's compliance manager over Hanford.
You want to know why you were notified right away.
Right. We would ask for their explanation. There may be a legitimate explanation. There may, I don't know.
Department of Ecology inspectors showed up on site without warning, taking samples and asking questions. We found some of WRPS's answers don't add up. The company told investigators that during this event, they dumped just 200 gallons from a contaminated box.
From the looks of it, I think they were half full.
Dirk Dunning looked at the measurements and angle of the container. By his calculations, they poured 3,000 to 5,000 gallons into the ground.
Oh my
Workers on
God.
site that day agreed it was thousands of gallons, not a few hundred.
That's just wrong.
Wrong, illegal, criminal.
You know, if they're going to drain a container like that, they need to at least have said what it was they actually did.
And reported 200 gallons were dumped, and we know it was thousands. What do you think of
Go
that?
I'm not sure
to
you
jail.
understand all the facts.
Well, why did you
The facts are he owns the energy department, so up yours. You can say nothing. Price Anderson Act.
But the experts agree, if the Hanford culture allows for violations like this right out in the open, what else is going on that we don't know about?
Exactly.
You're spending billions of dollars to clean it up, and you're under such scrutiny. It is totally shocking to me to see such disdain for basic environmental protection standards.
What happens now? The State Department of Ecology is investigating. They expect to have their report issued within the next few months. They could do nothing, issue a citation, or levy a fine. Also, we've received a statement from WRPS saying they're cooperating with the state investigation and that they're working to strengthen their procedures. In the newsroom, I'm Suzanna Frame.
Wow. That is amazing. So let's get out of that, otherwise it keeps going, and I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, by the way, with this Business Insider report that sort of downplayed it, it's the Business Insider under military and defense. I thought that was very interesting. So let me get back over here. Wow, it looks like I have a crown on when I'm like underneath my chair back there, right? I sit on a ball at this table. So that was really amazing, and I hope that King5 doesn't like copyright me. I'm asking them for permission here on my YouTube to please let me play that, because this is really vital information. 3 to 5,000 gallons that they dumped. That 60 to meter by 100 meter gaping hole from a 250 gigaton nuclear bomb test just a few months ago, and Trump is saber rattling. Honest to God, when Wendy Williams passed out and I saw her, I thought, oh my God, she's doing exactly what's happening to America. Like, Lord. And she's getting back up. Like, yeah, let's keep going. So, doing at Hanford, we cannot allow that to go on. Hanford cannot go on what they're doing. The entire Pacific Northwest is going to be dead if it continues. If we don't really aggressively remediate that and get the gross disregard for life out. We have to rethink that. We have to decide we're going to create a different outcome. Anyways, you guys, I guess happy Halloween. Man, Wendy Williams passing out like that. And this nuclear collapse happening, it happened a long time ago. God dang, this is just incredible news that came out today. Like it just came out. And it's being downplayed immediately by the Business Insider. And Hanford got caught red-handed dumping contaminated water straight into the gutter, 3,000 to 5,000 gallons per the expert. And nobody's arrested yet. And none of the workers are probably going to be paid for their illnesses. They're going to have to fight for their benefits. Well, it's up to us. If anybody, today's interview, by the way, one last thing, and I'm going to end. The interview with Kai Hushka today from CELDEF, Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, was very good on the Age of Fission radio show today. It is about that we have to rethink how we're going to run our Constitution. Because the way we have it set up right now is that the corporations have all the power, period. The system is set up that way. We have to really think about human rights, rights of nature. Rights of nature really are civil rights and human rights. And we had that conversation, but I think today was a very hallmark of a day, because we had Wendy Williams collapse. We hear about this nuclear catastrophe, ignored, just as usual, ignored nuclear catastrophe. And the Hanford tapes broke within the last day or so. Let us hope this is enough, that this is the breaking point where that's going to change everything. And that's the goal, folks, because guess what? We only have a future to live for. So let's us at least create it as long as we can. Put your courage feet on, take action, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.